In the summer of 2019, Blizzard will release World of Warcraft Classic, a fully fledged recreation of its beloved MMO as it was over a decade ago. With that said, let's take a look at everything you need to know before buying World of Warcraft Classic. Blizzard Entertainment made waves in the industry when it announced that the fourth game in its critically and commercially acclaimed Warcraft series would also be its first MMORPG. Over the course of nearly 5 years of development, Blizzard released World of Warcraft on November 23, 2004 in both North America and Australia, with a European release following in February 2005. The game was unique in many ways, establishing itself as an MMO for both Mac and Windows users. The physical boxed release, something that's obviously not necessary in its current state, included hybrid CDs that players could utilize on either platform. Also, it allowed for Apple and PC users to team up together via a cross-play system that, to this day, still remains a point of contention for gaming properties throughout the industry. There's no doubt that WoW's release had a major impact on the video game world, and still does today.
Someone once said that you can't go home again, but they lacked vision. And a temporal discombobulator.
At its core, World of Warcraft Classic is all about the nostalgia of the early days of the game. It's a faithful recreation of the original game that dates back more than a decade ago. Optimized for current computers, the game looks and feels as if you're playing the WoW of 2006. If you've ever longed to replay or wondered what it was like to play a version of the game before any expansions, this is how you'll do it. If you're used to 2019 WoW, Classic will provide a completely different experience. Combat mechanics, character models, and skill trees all look and feel like the early days of this fantastic MMO, meaning that you'll be transported back to the game's inception, when everything was new, raw, and much more difficult. This is vanilla World of Warcraft, and it's something you've either never experienced or haven't been a part of in years. But this isn't simply a nostalgia trip for Blizzard. The development of Classic comes complete with a content roadmap for the game. Split into 6 phases, players will have access to a whole load of fantastic content from the early years, along with a slew of both PvE and PvP gameplay. It won't be long before players will get their hands on WoW Classic. Prepare to do some pwning come August 26, 2019.
Looks like you're about to get pwned. Yeah!
However, character creation begins a couple weeks before that, on August 12th or 13th depending on your location, and you'll certainly want to jump in early to claim your character name and prepare up to 3 characters for use once the game launches in full. As long as you have an active WoW subscription, you can take advantage of this early aspect of Classic and ensure that you're one of the first to get into this retrospective experience. As far as paying for the actual game, all you need to do is keep up with that subscription. If you currently have one for the main game, you know that it's simply the standard $14.99 per month. If you're new to WoW and need to sign up, you can do so via the Battle.net website, which offers discounted subscriptions if you purchase 3 or 6 months at a time. If you're a veteran of the MMO, you'll remember the days of patch 1.12, otherwise known as Drums of War, as some of the best times in vanilla WoW. If that's the case, then you'll surely be happy to know that Classic is rooted in 1.12. For new players, what does that mean? Essentially, this patch signifies one of the most stable pre-expansion eras of World of Warcraft. According to Blizzard, the team chose this particular patch, quote, because it represents the most complete version of the Classic experience. However, this doesn't mean the game will look and feel exactly like it did in August of 2006, when this patch released to the world. Classic is a modern version of the game built using the 1.12 framework. In-game content, including vanilla raids, will mimic what was available in this update, which came right before the iconic Burning Crusade expansion. However, the game will utilize the extensive back-end improvements and changes that Blizzard has implemented over the years. In late May, Blizzard opened up a beta stress test for a select group of active, dedicated World of Warcraft players. On various dates throughout the summer, these players will have the opportunity to put the game servers through the ringer, check out some of the Classic content up to a level cap of 40, and help the dev team prepare for the August release. Recently, Jason M. Gallagher over at Den of Geek got his first look at the beta, and had some positive thoughts. He cited the strategy involved in each dungeon pull, something that the game got away from over time. Gallagher explained, "Anyone who has played WoW in recent years know that most dungeons are now an AoE grindfest. From some of the yelling I heard, this is no longer going to be a successful strategy come August." Elliot Lefebvre at Massively Overpowered expressed that, for those looking for a, quote, faithful recreation of a game that is trying to recreate, WoW Classic completely hits the mark. He elaborated, "The game is very decidedly the classic WoW experience, even adjusting for my own memory and nostalgia filters." Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more SVG videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.